Okay, well, I look insane. On because at this point, I don't think it could get any worse, right? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna kind of go back to my very first video that I did, which was the tutorial versus tutorial. And in that one we did a smoky eye, but today I want to do best cut crease tutorial. And I see it all over Instagram and stuff. It's very popular, and I know it's been popular for a few years now, but I've never even seen it until recently because I just got into the whole beauty community on Instagram and everything, but it just makes your eyes pop so much and you can do so much with a cut crease. So I decided that's going to be my next tutorial. That way I can learn how to do it at the same time. And we're going to be watching a video by Robert Welsh, which he is a British YouTuber that I really like. I subscribe to him and he is just amazing at makeup. He is a professional makeup artist and he has a good amount of tutorials as well as some reaction videos to like Instagram videos and TikTok videos, and he does ghost stories. And then the other one is going to be the Angela Bright tutorial, and I don't subscribe to her channel, but when I did search cut crease tutorial, hers was a very popular one. She's got like almost 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, and she does a ton of tutorials, and they're all very, not like extreme looks, which I like because like when you go on Instagram and see a cut crease, you see these crazy looks that I definitely don't want to try that as a beginner. So both of these tutorials are for beginners, so I'm really excited to do them. If you're new to my channel, hi, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm very new to the YouTube slash beauty community and everything like that, so I'm kind of showing people what it's like for someone that doesn't do this professionally or doesn't do this all the time, kind of what realistically we can do. And so if you're interested and you enjoy this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter, so make sure to follow me on those. So like I said, this is going to be an extension of the tutorial versus tutorial videos. You can definitely go check out my first one. It is kind of long, so hopefully this one will be a little bit shorter. I don't know, we'll see. But that one I did a smoky eye, one on this side and one on the other. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do probably the Robert Welsh eye on this eye and then the Angela Bright one on this one. And so normally what I do is I'm going to show you the tutorial kind of in the bottom of the screen while I follow the tutorial, and then we'll be able to talk about like which one was easier, which one I think looked better, which one provided the best tips, and just see which one is the best tutorial. Okay, so I want to start with the Robert Welsh one. We're going to be doing that over here. And I'm going to try and not be biased, but I'm a really big fan of his videos. He's just really funny and he explains makeup really well. His video is called Cut Crease for Beginners and it's got 96,000 views. And like right now he has over 600,000 YouTube subscribers. So he's very popular. I actually first found him on Facebook. Like, you know how they give you suggested videos to watch after you watch one and you scroll and they give you a suggested one? That's how I found him, doing reaction videos on popular beauty Instagrams and beauty TikToks, and it's just hilarious. So definitely go check him out. But yes, so let's get started.
So I want to teach you guys step by step, very in depth, how to do a cut crease. Hey guys, so first things first, I've kind of done my brow already. So I am using the eye base first, and this is a priming potion from Urban Decay. It's one of my favorites because it sets to this waxier texture.
Okay, so first he goes in with his eyeshadow primer. I normally use the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, and this one is so different that I decided to actually go get this one. It's the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I don't know if it's the exact same one he's using. Looks like this. So I'm actually going to pull you guys in some. Okay, I don't know how the sound is going to be. I moved my microphone.
So eyeshadow blends really well. There's absolutely no creasing at all. This is not going to crease. You don't have to spend
He kind
a
of
lot of
puts this
time doing it.
literally everywhere.
It's just perfect.
So I'm going to do the same.
Really well. So I'm just using a flat brush to do this. Okay, so we are using the Lime Crime Venus palette. And I'm taking this shade first. And we're going to take that right through the socket. I have a small blending brush.
Okay, so he's using a Lime Crime palette. I'm going to be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. And one thing, this felt, it's like cool in theory, but I swear it gets hair all over it. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to use this shade, Incense. And he just goes right around the crease. And he says to hold it far away from the top because that results in a lighter blend. And I just love all the tips he gives like that, even though I never make it look as good as he does.
I'm using a big clean blending brush. I'm going to use this a lot throughout this process to go and even smooth it out even more, to blend the colour out a lot more.
Okay. So he said to go in with a big blending brush that was clean to go over the first step, that first brown shade he went on. So I went and grabbed mine, and I thought it was clean, but it obviously was not. It had like some black or something. So yeah. Okay, then he takes a pretty red shade and packs it really into the crease.
We are going to take the colour slightly higher because we're doing a cut crease. We kind of want there to be colour above the cut crease. So I'm still pushing into that socket and blending. The brush is big enough to blend it upwards, if that makes sense. So I'm not taking any colour up. I think that's a mistake a lot of people make, is they apply a product above the brow bone. Colour ends up there when you blend naturally.
Okay, mine's a lot more purple, but oh well, I've already messed it up once anyways.
Don't worry about being too neat under the eye because we're going to go under there and tidy it up.
I forgot to mention for the second shade I use this shade Passion. Now, if you can tell, it definitely has like this red tint to it because the color above it is purple, but it showed up on my eyes as purple. It might have mixed with that dark color that I put on before. But for the second, or the third shade where he uses a dark brown, I'm going to go into this Maybelline 24 Karat Nude palette and use this second brown shade up top right there. And he just pushes it into the inner corner to get it laid down and then blend it out.
Then we will start to blend through the socket. You can see I'm really pushing into that socket, and you see my hand is further up the brush. That's because I want to apply the colour just in that area. I want it to come out really strong, and I want it to come out harsh as well.
Do I look like I got punched? Okay.
So now we are going to cut that crease. So if you look straight forward at your eye, assess where you want that crease to go. You're kind of going to have to bring it higher than your natural eye socket. So I always look straight forward into the mirror first. So I have this brush, flat and very sharp. I have a concealer on my hand. This is the only time we're going to use concealer on eye makeup.
Okay, so I'm going to take the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I'm going to use shade 16N, which is Fair Light Neutral. And I think this would be a good one to use because it's very like full coverage and thicker. Okay. And I don't have that exact brush. I have a few to choose from. So these are the 3 kinds of brushes that I have. I think I'm going to go with the smallest one. So he says to tap both sides and get the excess off.
So looking straight forward into the mirror, starting from the inside corner where that kind of like little bit usually highlight is, like the tear duct. And I'm going to start to carve out where I want my shape. So I consider my eyelids quite hooded, so I'm drawing over the hood bit. So you can see that's not my eyelid, that's higher than my eyelid, but that's what we want. We still want that look of a cut crease when our eyes are open. And I'm coming straight in with a brush. I'm using that very sharp edge and I'm starting to fill out that inside corner. Start tracing your outline first, bit by bit, and then fill in underneath bit by bit as well. Can you see what I mean there? It's very important to add product onto your brush as you go. You don't want any concealer to dry out because then you're going to get this feathery look. See how now I've carved out that shape? And we want that to end where the side, oh, let me look forward. We want that to end where the side of our pupil is. Can you see? So my eyes are open and you can still see it. So we're just going to make everything a little bit more intense by building up that concealer another layer. Okay, so now we're going to take a clean brush, like a flat, real hair brush, and we're going to blend it outwards.
He says to use a real hair brush to blend it out, but he also says to use a flat brush, and I don't have a flat real hair brush. So we're just going to do this.
So now let's take a highlight color. This is just a lighter tone than everything else, and we're going to pat onto the lid.
Okay, for the lid color, I'm going to do the shade called Dreamer here. And we're going to pack that on.
Never wipe. Pat right onto that whole area where we've created that cut crease. So on every bit that's a little bit lighter. I like to go around the edges first, so I make sure I get really close to it. Be very careful, you don't want to go over that white line, you just want to keep it all in on the inside. So let's take that second colour we use, that kind of warmer red tone, one you can kind of see more around the edges. And you see how the white goes straight down? We want to go diagonally across the lid with this red. So tapping very gently, we're going to make almost like this slope. Notice how I'm taking the colour outwards and I'm not taking any in. We're blending that brush out, 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 out. That helps it fade a little bit more rather than having like rigid lines. Now let's take that darker colour, the dark brown, and just build that up in the outside corner. Similar shape, we're going to do that kind of slope shape on the outside corner. Sorry, I keep looking down at the screen in this. I'm taking concealer now. And I'm not taking it right up to the eye, I'm kind of going around in the shape that we want to make because we're going to blend this with our finger as well. So I'm really making it into that nice kind of cat's eye shape. Same with the inside corner, I'm starting a little bit higher with that. Just try not to go over the eyeshadow as much as you can because we still want it to blend. Try and get a nice crisp line, but obviously will be a few little bits that go a little bit over. Okay, so basically he goes on to do a lighter color in the waterline and lashes and everything, but I'm gonna wait to do the lashes and I'm not gonna do an underline color, but I don't know how well y'all can see it. You can probably see it pretty good. I decided to try and touch up the bottom with concealer, which I probably shouldn't have because I already have all that stuff on and Robert didn't. But it's basically done this like gray underneath the eyes, which I don't love. And then, I don't know, I feel like either I didn't blend it out right or I didn't bring it far enough out with the cut crease. I'm just like not happy with it really, which I'm kind of sad because I really like Robert's stuff and I wanted to do it really good. But yeah, so anyways, we're gonna move on to Angela Bright's video. Okay, so Angela's video is called Half Cut Crease Eyeshadow Tutorial for Beginners. It has 1.4 million views and she has over 400,000 subscribers. And so this one is a more neutral look. I know Robert's was more like that red look and mine ended up being very dark and purple, which was my fault. But anyways, this one hopefully will be softer, but we'll see how it goes.
Hey guys, so for today's video, I'm doing a super in-depth video on how I like to do my half-cut creases on myself. So I already have foundation on and my eyebrow is done, obviously, and we're going to prime the eyes. I personally alternate between something like a MAC paint pot and a thick liquid concealer. You can really use either of them, but today I'm going to use concealer.
Okay, so she's priming her lids with concealer, which I've never done. Actually, Robert highly recommends not to do that because he said that results in creasing. We're gonna follow the tutorial.
And I like to use concealer because it does help hide any veins and redness on your lid. So you can use a brush, a finger, a sponge to blend this out. And you want to make sure you get this all the way into your inner corner, right in here, and also your outer corner out here. I tend to miss this area sometimes. Now I'm going to set my lid in place with the powder. I like to use a translucent powder.
This is so weird. I've never set my eyes with powder and concealer and all that. Just seems like a lot when you could just use a eyeshadow primer. But what do I know for real?
For my palette today, I'm going to use the Anastasia Soft Glam palette just because I know that a lot of people own this one. So I'm going to start with the transition shade. I'm going to take Orange Soda on the Sigma E35 for my brush set. And I'm just going to blend this back and forth in my crease. This is just going to give you a nice little wash of color, and we're going to build this up. So with these shades that I'm placing in my crease, I'm making sure to bring it all the way into my inner crease right here and all the way out here.
I'm going to go in again with the Maybelline 24 Karat Nude palette and use the lightest shade in here, but as you can see, it's not really giving me any color because it's very close to this concealer base I put down. But I don't want to use anything darker than that.
You don't want to bring this shade right underneath your brow, but you can see I'm pretty close to my brow, but I'm not touching it. Now I'm going to switch to a deeper shade and a more tapered brush. So I'm going to pick up the shade Rustic on my E25, and we're going to start to deepen up the crease. So this brush is a little more precise than the first one I used, so it lets me place this shade more directly in my crease.
So my problem when doing this is when I do my makeup, I like kind of look up and do this. And so I think for this technique, you really have to be more, and then I'm also like lifting my eyebrows like this. You really have to be very relaxed just to get it over your crease, because she says she's putting it in her crease, but it's actually she's putting it really over the top of it so that it will show up when you do the cut crease.
Now I'm going to take a little bit more of that first Orange Soda shade, and I'm going to blend right on top of that Rustic shade to help soften any edges. Alright, so right now the colors of my crease are pretty much done. What I'm going to do now is work on the outer corner of my eye, and then we'll do the cut crease. So I picked up more of that Rustic shade, and I'm using the side of my E25 now. You can see it's not just the tip, it's on the side. And I'm going to stamp that on the outer corner of my eye and connect it into my outer crease. I'm doing about 2 to 3 layers of this shadow out here to get it as dark as I want. Now I'm going to take a little bit more of that Orange Soda shade, and I'm going to use that to lightly blend right here in the center of my lid where that dark brown is meeting my blank lid. So just right here. Just because I want this to be a little bit softer.
Okay, I don't really know what's happening over on this side, but it's really patchy. I swear it's that freaking concealer. Never had such problems in my life.
Okay, now it's time for the part you've all been waiting for, the actual cut crease. So I'm gonna use my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer again. You just wanna use any kind of liquid concealer that's a little bit thick. So I just place a little bit of concealer on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna dip one side of my brush into that concealer. And what you wanna do is kind of look down and place some concealer on the bottom part of your lid. So I have a good amount of concealer on my lid, and then I like to look up and around, and there we go. So where that concealer transferred to is exactly where I want my cut crease.
Okay, so I've seen people do this, where you just put it down here and look up. I don't know if I put enough on. We're gonna see. Okay. And then she just traces this line. I mean, it's definitely easy to do it that way, but now I've got like a crap ton of concealer on my lids.
And I just like to move the concealer around to get it exactly where I want it. I still didn't pick up any more concealer. I'm just using what was on my brush.
Okay, so I wiped the brush I just used off, and then she kind of just blends it a little bit on the edge.
You can also use your finger for this step, but again, I like small brushes so I can be more precise. So now you can pretty much apply any shade you want on top of that concealer. I'm gonna use a shimmer shade just because I like how that looks.
Then she uses the same brush and does a shimmer shade. I'm trying to decide which one I want to do. These are kind of the three options I'm thinking. I kind of want to go with the pink. I'm going to use a different brush to see if it'll lay down any better. I'm going to go in with this one.
And I'm going to take a darker shade, so I'm going to take Cypress Umber. Right, so I have that shade on my brush like that. And I'm going to pat this on my very outer corner to deepen it up even more.
Okay, now she takes a brush like this and takes a dark color and really packs it in the corner here.
For the lower lash line, I'd recommend using small brushes like the Sigma E30. So I'm going to take more of that rustic shade and I'm going to blend that on my entire lower lash line. And I'm using the tip of the brush for this, which is exactly why you want a pencil brush. Then I'm going to take a little bit of orange soda again and just use that to lightly blend right underneath that dark brown.
Okay, so finally she just goes on to highlighting underneath her brow and everything and putting on mascara and lashes and everything. So this is basically the final look from the Angela Bright video. It did come out more subtle like I thought it would. The pink that I used didn't really want to lay down like I wanted, and then the brown tones I used weren't as warm as hers. This just shows you that it is not as easy as they make it look. I actually recently bought some lashes and I have never put them on, but I think a cut crease really just needs lashes, right? So I might try to put those on because at this point I don't think it could get any worse, right? Okay, so basically I give up on everything today. Like I said, I've never put lashes on before. As you can see on this eye, I got glue everywhere and they're like not even on correctly. You know that because of the shape of this one. I think I did a much better job with this one, I must say. I feel like they're on in the right place. They look like they're pointing in the right direction. The only thing is I have a problem up here with them for some reason. I have a problem. Oh my god. I have a problem with them up here. Anyways, so yeah, this is just the cherry on top of a perfect eye look. So I guess I'll just talk about my final thoughts on both of the tutorials. I think Angela's like method, and I know a lot of people have done it before, but where they put it on the lower half, the concealer, and then look up, I think that was really easy. The only thing I see is that on my eyes at least, the way Robert showed you how to do it, you can see more of the cut crease with me looking straight forward. Like you can't really see it with my eyes open looking straight forward on this eye as much as you can on this eye. So I will say, as I continue to practice cut creases, I think I'll just do Robert's method as far as the placement of the line. Both of the videos were good and I think they had a lot of helpful tips. And I get it's like cut crease for beginners and all this stuff, but let me just tell you right now, if you've never done it and you want to try it, it is really difficult and it takes a long time. And I'm sure it doesn't take as long as like if you practice a lot and you understand how to do it better, but for the first time each eye took me like 30 minutes to do. I am a perfectionist, but I'm sure a lot of people that enjoy doing makeup are. That's like kind of what we like. I'd probably wear the Angela one just because she went with more of a softer look and that's what I usually wear from day to day, but I think Robert's looks more interesting, you know? And I think that's the whole point of a cut crease is all the different things you can do with it and you can show off your colors and your palette, and it's not really made for like an everyday look anyways. That's what I think. But I really liked both videos. I just don't like how they turned out. Definitely gonna take some practice on that. And especially the lashes. I mean, I can barely like, I feel like I'm blinking a million times. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what to do next for a tutorial versus tutorial. I kind of want to do something with my brows because that's something I really struggle with. Like on Instagram and stuff, you see it's mainly people showing off their eyeshadow, but you see they have these like perfect brows. And I want to find out, is that like editing of their pictures or are they actually making it look that good? So I think that's what I'm going to do next, is how to make that really sharp, perfect brow look. But yeah, so if you enjoyed me stumble through this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. As always, my Twitter and Instagram information is down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. I'm so over today. Okay. Anyways, bye guys.